As I said, today we're going to be covering some of our enterprise integrations. Now, we have a lot of integrations, so we're not going to be able to cover in detail every single one, but we wanted to pull out a couple of hero integrations and talk about the importance of an integrated IT ecosystem and the benefits that you can get from implementing some of these very, very simple integrations into your everyday workflows. So you probably know me by now. My name's Kerry Rogers. I lead the product marketing team here at LogMeIn GoTo for our IT products, and I am joined by Chris Hanley once more, dynamic duo. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Kerry. And yeah, for those of you that don't know me, I'm sure everyone does at this point, but my name's Chris Handley. I'm one of the product managers here for Rescue. I've been with GoTo 11 years, and yeah, we got some really cool stuff to talk to you about today regarding integrations.
Awesome. So just a quick overview of what we're going to run through today. So we're going to take a look at what the modern enterprise IT looks like in reality. Then we're going to talk about like the imperative around integrations, like why we need them, why they're so important, particularly now as we're moving so fast. Ticket volumes are increasing, headcounts are not increasing. We're becoming increasingly reliant on AI. So how do we integrate our workflows in order to benefit our teams and our end users? Then we're going to run through a couple of our hero integrations. So the big ones that come to mind that are regularly used by a lot of our customers would be ServiceNow. So we've had a ServiceNow integration for quite some time, and we've recently added kind of some AI kind of like connectivity between the two. So that's really exciting to show you. And we're also going to cover Nexthink. So that is a DEX integration as we're moving into more integrations with DEX systems. And then we'll quickly look at the wider rescue integration ecosystem. So from Salesforce, Jira, ticketing and collaboration platforms there. And then we want to touch on how the rescue AI and in-session diagnostics fits into these workflows and how you can bring rescue AI into your workflow through integrations. So I suppose we should probably just get right into it. So the reality of the modern enterprise IT team, and we hear this from customers and prospects all the time, everything's siloed in terms of tools and data. So we're seeing lost knowledge across platforms, blind spots, and data locked into different platforms. And quite often it's heavy manual intervention that's required. You know, things you might do something in a rescue session, that's not necessarily making it back to your ticketing system. And then when it comes to audit time, everything's just a mess. Which brings us on to the ticket chaos. Like manual ticket updates, like we know that they're a time drain. Like we know they take ages and we know that they're necessary. Um, so that a lot of people, there's no automatic data sync between your ticketing system and your remote support system. And your escalation handoffs often lose context. So if you're having to pass that issue on to, say, from an L1 agent to an L2 agent for troubleshooting, quite often you might lose the context of that session because it's stuck in a different platform. There's also visibility gaps. So we've got no real-time intelligence. Root cause identification is often slow. You've got people troubleshooting based on stuff that they might have seen, but that could be because they have knowledge, not necessarily because somebody else on the team might have had the exact same fix, say, a week ago. But because we're not sharing that documentation and that information, they're starting from zero. And that kind of leads to the reoccurring issues. They're going undetected, or we're starting from zero every time we're fixing the same issue. And with that comes a growing attack surface. We've got more endpoints, we've got more risk. We've got more support moments that are being targeted by threat actors and 86% of IT pros often see unsafe user workarounds because like things are taking too long, they don't know the fix. So that's something that we really want to fix. So a couple of more stats here. Consumers will often switch after multiple bad experiences. So if you're in a customer support environment and you're using a remote support tool, a lot of consumers will switch from a couple of bad experiences. We're also seeing that IT managers, about 84% of IT managers, are seeing more and more technician burnout because of the increasing workload on them. 10.5 days are lost per year per employee to minor tech issues, just from like disruptions that might happen. Something might take 2 hours to fix. It might take a day. You know, you're in a backlog because someone has something more urgent. And like we said, that'll often lead to somebody trying to figure out a workaround themselves. And that is something that we absolutely don't want, do we, Chris?
Definitely not, no.
No. So we're kind of here to, set the level. Like we know that IT is a struggle. There is so many different attack surfaces. There's so many things that we need to think about, and we just want to try and help simplify that process and workflows so people can get work done quicker. So before we kind of go into stuff, I would just want to kind of get a sense of how fragmented you think your IT stack is at the minute. Is everything running smoothly? You know, the holy grail? Yes, but there are areas that aren't, and it could be a lot better.
A lot of people jumping straight in with it could be a lot
Could be
better.
a lot
So
better. Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny. No one has said it's running smoothly.
no. And no one said it's all over the place too. So at least you guys are kind of,
Yeah.
it's
We're middle
okay.
ground here. Yeah.
Oh, we have got a couple people now that everything runs smoothly. I want to talk to those people. I want to know what they've done.
Yeah. They can lead the webinar. Okay. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are in that it could be a lot better. Oh, we have a hand up.
Do. I don't see a question or a chat though. Looks like Enrique, if you want to ask a question, feel free to drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll keep going.
Maybe Enrique is it
He's
runs
the one person
smoothly.
that's got it. Yeah, he's done his stuff. Okay, Enrique, if that's you, let us know.
Give us an emoji. Um, okay. Yeah, so I think most of us are in that it could be a lot better. So that's great. So I think we can close that one and we will get started. Okay, so this is what we're aiming for. Integration without complexity. Like we don't want to make life harder. We actually want to make it easier. So we're going to take the time today to kind of run through some of the areas which we've seen customers kind of improve their workflows just by using some of these simple integrations that we have. So when it comes to tackling lost knowledge, so we have this traditional human-driven approach and there's a lot of steps. So your ticket may arrive in your ITSM system. Then you've got tech that will like manually read and interpret that. Then they'll switch to another platform to start the remote support session. So they might be able to resolve that, or they might go, do you know what? I don't have the knowledge for this. It needs to be escalated. So you do some rush notes, minimal notes, if any, manually copy a summary if you were able to save it. Sometimes it skips. You know, we all skip steps when we're busy. And then the notes sit there unstructured, unsearchable, and unused. And then we've just got this like siloed data. So Every fix is a missed opportunity for institutional knowledge to be built. Escalations will be repeated. And as we said before, that next agent that comes across the same issue, they're going to be starting from zero. So with Rescue and using some of the AI functionality that's available in Rescue, if you plug that into ServiceNow, your ITSM, your ticket will arrive in ServiceNow. Your remote session can be launched directly from the platform. You resolve your issue, you pass it on if you need to, and then a structured summary is auto-generated and will sync directly back to your ServiceNow ticket. And each time, your instance of AI will learn from every session. So you can go in there and it will summarize the ticket and give you recommendations for the fix. But then it'll learn from that. So the next agent has the same issue. That AI has already learned from that and has fed that information back and has learned from it and knows the recommended fixes. So I think that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I think, obviously this saves a lot of time. I started my early career in tech support, so I know this pain all too well. High volume call center, as you mentioned at the beginning, Kerry, that stat of tech burnout, it's real. You're trying to move on to the next case and the next case.
Yeah.
So we're all human. Those notes, they're probably not the best, or like you said, you might skip them entirely. Um, that second, or sorry, the first step, the second step, getting that ticket and launching your remote support tool. Just want to point out also that a key part of our integration is actually in that step, we're sending data from that ticket into Rescue. So not only do you have the session summary at the end posting back, but at the beginning, the name and the email from that ticket, it's now in Rescue. So when you go and look in Rescue reports or through Rescue data, you also have that context as well, which is very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the fact that like it's truly kind of like bi-directional data. But yeah, I mean, as someone that raises a lot of IT support tickets, we all think that our issue is the most urgent issue in the world and needs to be fixed immediately. So I get why technicians get burnt out when they have to deal with all of us thinking that our IT issue is like world ending. And I know I'm guilty of that.
I mean, 10.5 days of lost productivity is a lot. So yeah, we're trying to cut down on that number drastically.
Yeah. So if we look at that, some of the benefits that we'll see, like that's going to streamline your processes. It's also going to reduce human error. And when it comes to those session summaries, we are going to be launching in the next few weeks customizable session summaries. So you
Yes.
can actually customize and outline exactly what you want it to capture, what order you want to capture it in, and then send that information back so it fits with how you would structure some of your ticketing notes. So that's
Yeah.
very cool.
And the level of detail as well. So obviously every business has different standards, different requirements. So if you want to see that super detailed step-by-step summary of this is what happened during the session, you can do that with Rescue. And again, it's that consistency that's important, when it posts back to your ticketing system.
Yeah,
But if you're more like, hey, we just need the basics, just need the kind of real concise summary, you'll have that ability to customize that in Rescue also.
yeah, exactly. And that touches onto like the consistency at scale. You're not relying on every single technician to be consistent in their session note taking or anything like that. It You've set the parameters and that's going to ensure it's going to reduce the human error and that's going to ensure that all the information that you want posted back to your system is going to be posted back. Um, so yeah, so in a perfect world, that will get rid of all the burnout. So yeah, so when we kind of look at this, we also talk about like we want smarter, we want faster resolution times. So again, an agent might receive a ticket, they're going to manually go through everything, they start a remote session, they might manually research like a device for a potential root cause. Um, they might need to escalate that. They might need to reinvestigate the device info. They might turn off a firewall in order to fix something and then forget about it. And then they end up completing notes for an issue that probably didn't need escalating, because if they had some of the information, they might have been able to troubleshoot that more effectively. So that L1 agent might lack the knowledge to be able to resolve some of these issues. They could be new. One thing we have seen time and time again is if somebody leaves a team and they take that institutional knowledge with them, like that's gone. But if you're able to share that knowledge within the systems, then you're able to train your agents, your L1 agents, your L2 agents. They're going to get quicker and quicker and quicker. So you're going to break that cycle. So when you bring in this orchestrated, impact-driven approach, your L1 agent's going to receive that ticket. They can launch the session. They can use AI analysis to, have the instant help score, look at some of the issue recommendations, recommended fixes. They can do a remote control session for the end user, apply the fix that's been recommended with step-by-step guidance. It's human in the loop throughout, so the AI is never going to take an action for your agent. The agent will still have to act. So then you're kind of safe in the knowledge that like nothing is going to happen without your control. And then again, your session summary is generated. And if you've forgotten to turn that firewall back on, there's a little safety alert that will tell you you turned a firewall off, that needs to be turned back on. And that's going to be in a big red box, and that's going to stop any issues from happening. So, as we say here on the slide, crisis averted.
Yeah, really big crisis with that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, I think it's important to call out here, that our AI, as you mentioned, it's not taking action for or on behalf of the tech. We very much still want the human to be in the loop throughout this process. And all we're doing is we're making them more efficient with AI, presenting the information, because when you first start that session, as you mentioned, they're going through a lot of info. They got all the system info, and Rescue is a very powerful tool. It gathers a lot of information, but it takes time to go through that. So by allowing AI to pass that very quickly and giving the health score and the instant recommendation, think about how much time has been saved in that one session. If you extrapolate that across your whole call center, your whole org, it's going to be massive cumulatively on how much time you're saving. And again, just those small checks and balances of, you've got your structured notes, you've not lost the knowledge, and if something did get missed, those safety alerts are crucial at the end of the session to kind of a nudge to the technician of, hey, you did something, make sure you put it back.
Yeah.
Just to give them a
Put that
reminder.
back where you found it. Awesome. Okay, so then just if we look at some of the benefits and the results that you can take from that. So that's going to improve your first contact or first call resolution, and you're empowering maybe inexperienced agents as well to get to the answer without having to pull somebody else in. And just from a pure kind of morale standpoint, that's really going to boost the morale of your more junior technicians. You're going to have consistent diagnostics. So the AI is constantly learning as well. So as we said before, the more fixes you're doing, the more ticket information you're pulling through, every time the AI recommends a fix, it's going to learn from the last one. Like, we're not training any models on it, but your instance of AI will train within your environment on how to do the fixes. It's going to increase efficiency, and it's going to reduce those escalations. So then your more experienced, higher level agents, they can be like, their time isn't taken up with issues that have probably quite easy fixes, and it's just because the technician didn't have the appropriate knowledge that is probably available to them. They just don't know where to find it.
And there's also that element of, if you're an L1, perhaps you have certain metrics you have to hit, right? There's a lot of pressure. We keep going back to the burnout. So they might kind of get to a point where they say, I've spent as much time as I can on this. I have to escalate per my SLA, per my guidelines. And so by us kind of wrapping up that information into that concise summary again, we've avoided some of that unnecessary escalation, as you mentioned.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so when it comes to DEX, that is an acronym we hear more and more now. So your digital employee experience platform. So we do have an integration currently with Nexthink. So in the old world, your DEX solution will flag the issue that's going to need agent intervention. Now we know that these platforms are designed to kind of catch things before they become issues, but we're not in a world where your DEX platform is going to capture everything and fix it before it becomes an issue. There's always going to be that like 30-40%, I think it is at the minute, that it is going to need some intervention. It's going to become an issue. They're going to have to manually switch to the remote support platform and manually send a session link over to the end user, consistently switch back and forth between the DEX solution for the device health and the device metrics, check the issues list that they need to go through, and more platform hopping back and forth to review the data. And you're going to have to repeat that every time. And then the issue will get resolved, and the agent will have to return to your DEX platform just to verify that everything's okay. So this constant window switching, I mean, that would be awful for me because I have about 27 tabs open at any time. So that's going to drain productivity, and it's also going to fuel that frustration that your agents probably already have. Every fix is going to add a little bit more friction. And then as your IT ecosystem grows, that burden is just going to compound and compound and compound. Whereas if you have an integration with your DEX platform, that can flag an issue needing the intervention. Like that's going to happen. They can launch the remote session directly from the platform. And then all of your device telemetry is going to be available within your remote support session. So you don't need to jump back to that platform. That is available right there in front of you. Your L1 checklist can be surfaced in session. I think you can also, can you edit and add different lists from there? I think so. I will double check that one. But immediately it's going to show you that kind of first level checklist that you need to do in session. You're not going to have to switch the platform. And you know that when you've finished your fix, once you've worked through the checklist and you've closed the session, you're not going to need to go back and check and make sure everything's there because it's all fed back to your DEX platform. So that's pretty cool. And we're seeing increasingly like more and more companies implementing DEX solutions, like employee experience, is very important. I think we've seen an increase in that even over the last few years. Would you say, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about how many apps we're using, managing updates, your computer shuts off, it restarts in the middle of your day, there's a lot of fatigue there for employees. And I think employers who are managing those apps, they want to get a sense of, did this update go well?
Yeah.
Was there an issue? Tracking that frustration and that being visible in Rescue is huge to get that kind of extra layer on top.
So then, like we said, you've eased that agent frustration. You're again increasing the efficiency and you're streamlining your workflows. Like nobody likes to switch platforms, and it sounds, when you think about it, it sounds so small and so trivial. You're like, oh, I had to switch window. But if you're doing that
10
consistently,
times.
yeah, all day, day in, day out, like every single time, that causes a little bit more friction, a little bit more frustration. So eventually you're not just talking about a single time of switching a window, you're talking about an entirely flawed process. And I think that's something that, that took me a while to figure out as well, because I was like switching a platform. But then when you think about the compounding effect that will have day to day.
It's very easy to miss stuff. That tool fatigue is real, like you mentioned, and it does compound throughout the day. So if you're constantly bouncing, and think about if you've got a ticketing system now in the mix, you're switching between remote support tool, the Dex tool, the ticketing tool, and back and forth, looking at the knowledge base, looking at previous notes. If
Yeah,
all of that's available in Rescue, and if the bidirectional data is, available from the start, the launch is easy, and that closed loop of everything posting back at the end, I mean, the benefits are huge.
yeah, yeah. Like, no words. So another quick poll before we dig into like the specifics of some of these. So it'd be really interesting, like, are your technicians manually updating tickets after every session? Okay, we've got a yes, every ticket.
Are they good notes though? We should have added a
Yeah,
because yeah, they might be updating every ticket, but what do those notes look like?
give us a thumbs up if they're great notes.
And they're consistent notes.
Everyone's there thinking about a particular technician that has really good notes, and then another technician whose notes are a little bit, yeah,
Issue
inconsistent, let's
resolved.
say.
That's my favorite. Issue resolved.
Yeah, fixed.
See that quite often. Yep. I
Okay.
may or may not have been guilty of that early in my career, just full disclosure.
Yeah, I think we all have. It's interesting. We've a few people that have session summaries, but they've not used it yet. So it'd be interesting to hear their why not?
Yeah,
But
why
yeah,
aren't we using them?
I mean, I'd be using them all the time. Okay, so I think we'll close that poll, and because we still have lots to cover. So yeah, so just I won't spend too much on this slide. So there is a cost to fragmented workflows. We're not always talking about the money and the fact that we have all these tools. Like, yes, okay, you can say that there is a cost, like an ROI, a monetary thing, and that is important. But when you look at the time that's wasted, like they're spending up to 30% of their session time on manual documentation and ticket updates. Like we said, you're reducing that visibility. And it's a security risk because the more you have a backlog, the more you're going to push users to kind of figure stuff out by themselves because we're all impatient and we all want to fix. So, we'll all turn into IT support if we have to. Those recurring issues because you're starting from zero every time. We talked about the burnout and, 80 odd percent of IT managers reporting that burnout. Uh, that has increased drastically. I think that's actually some research that our team conducted, and I think a couple of years ago it was in and around 60%. So for that to jump up to 80 something percent, that's an astronomical increase. And then you have the hidden cost, the stuff that nobody talks about. Every manual handoff, every context switching, every reopen ticket. That's going to quietly drain your IT budgets and increase your operational costs, but it's not something that we're really measuring, so we're not going to see it, and it's just going to quietly drain and drain and drain. So we need to move forward. We need to, implement integrations, implement AI where it's possible and safe to do so. And I think that's something that I think our rescue team do really well. Like, we're never going to we're not going to use your data. We're not going to train on your data. Um, I'd say we probably get a few questions on kind of like the security side of it. So it's all about moving forward, integrating, but doing it with safety and security in mind. Okay, so ServiceNow. Most people use ServiceNow in some form or other. And many of you, going back there, many of you will use ServiceNow for ITSM system. That's most people's ticketing system. Like it's a big one. So rescue with ServiceNow. Like we said, it's going to create your ticket. Then your session's going to be launched. So that's going to start your session in less than 20 seconds. It's going to have live diagnostics. So you're using that rescue AI capability within your session. So you've got your device analysis if you need it, your error screen analysis. You can run scripts. Um, Everything that you want auto synced back to the platform is going to sync back. You've got your AI session summary, and then you're going to close it. And most importantly, that's an audit trail that's going to be ready for reporting for audits. The amount of times I've spoken to customers on calls and they've said that they've had to go through every ticket when it comes to like being audited because they have to check that everything's consistent. So if you're safe in the knowledge that that is going to be there, where like everything's going to be okay, everything's sorted, you don't have to go through and like manually check everything because that is a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about the technician overhead, the technician burden, tool fatigue, but let's not forget about those poor admins out there.
Yeah.
If you've got to go through multiple tools to find, hey, what happened in this session? What did the customer say? If everything is all within ServiceNow, within your ITSM, whatever you're integrating with Rescue, I mean, that is also saving time and overhead from admins as well. So I know there's probably many admins on this call right now, so we haven't forgotten about you either.
Yeah. So some specific like key outcomes that we see is that zero manual ticket updates. So I know we mention it again and again, but I think it's such an important and such it's small, impactful feature, just that ability to share the data across platforms. And Chris mentioned your admins, so your IT managers, your IT admins, they're getting real-time visibility. They're getting real-time comprehensive session notes. They don't have to come chasing the technicians for updates and what happened on this ticket, what was this fix. Like they're going to leave you alone. And that's what we all want. We just want to get on with our job. We don't want to have to look back and assess, a past ticket because we didn't have time to do the session summary quickly. So it keeps everybody happy. It keeps the whole team happy. We're going to reduce that escalation time. So everything's streamlined. All your handoffs are streamlined. There's full context for everything. And the ability to have that rescue AI within your workflow to run those summaries, to run those diagnostics, to get recommendations, to feed that information back to your existing ecosystem. And then most importantly, you've got that full audit trail from first contact, however they come through into your ticketing system. You could be using, a Teams integration somewhere, like however that comes into your service now, all of that will feed into Rescue and then back into your ServiceNow instance. So, I mean, I could talk more and more, but I probably think that the best thing to do is just to show a quick demo video and let them see for themselves, I think.
In this video, we are going to take a look at Rescue's powerful ServiceNow AI integration. To get started, let's submit a new incident in ServiceNow. For today's demo, we will create an incident stating we are unable to clearly read the text on the screen and need to make the text larger. Once the incident has been created, the technician can click on the link in ServiceNow that says Generate LogMeIn PIN. From there, the tech would share the PIN with the customer, who would visit logmein123.com and enter the code provided. The customer would download and run the Rescue applet to start the session. Once the technician accepts the request, they can instantly chat with the customer before initiating remote control. When the session is started, the tech can begin to troubleshoot. For this example, they are looking at the display settings to adjust the text per the original incident request. When the issue is resolved and the session has ended, the technician will see the option to generate summary within the rescue console. This will provide a detailed AI-generated session recap, documenting the exact troubleshooting steps taken during the support session. You'll notice, the issue has been pulled directly from the ServiceNow ticket data and showing what was originally documented in the ticket's short description. Once the summary has been generated, the technician can close out. When returning to the ServiceNow incident, the tech will see the session chat log and session summary have been automatically added to the notes of the ticket, ensuring accurate documentation. With this ServiceNow AI integration, technicians can seamlessly sync data between Rescue and ServiceNow to simplify workflows, increase efficiency, and ensure always complete documentation.
Awesome, thank you. Just reshare my screen there. Yeah, so I think the integrations, it's one of those things where I think you have to see it in action to really kind of understand how well it works. I probably think that for a lot of kind of integrations or AI tools, but that was kind of just a quick snippet. I mean, if anyone, we will have a poll at the end, so if anyone does want to speak to a member of our team about setting any of this up, we can definitely sort that for you. So next, we're going to cover Nexthink, so a DEX solution. So this integration will change how you diagnose issues. So you're capturing things a lot earlier than you would, say, just with a remote support solution. So the idea is that's going to uncover issues well in advance. And, you know, for the most part, it's going to be able to catch things before it's an issue. But there's always going to be things that are going to need agent intervention. So just wondering, like, how do technicians currently access device health during a session? Are they switching platforms? Are they doing manual checks? Are they just doing it in the session? Like, how are you kind of measuring all of that? Okay, so we've got a lot of platform switching. Okay.
Couple we generally don't.
Yeah.
So quite a few manual checkers out there too.
Yeah. Couple in session. Yeah.
Pretty even split.
Yeah.
Bit of everything going on.
Yeah, I think you're right. That doesn't happen very often. Okay, so we have an even split. So I think there's probably some friction for most people. So, I mean, you might be using another DEX solution. We don't know. But right now we are integrating with Nexthink. So, you know, similarly, this platform might alert you to something that, okay, we've noticed this. It's going to require some agent intervention. So that's going to flag a specific endpoint that is going to require somebody to remote in. So they can launch that session, a rescue session, directly from the Nexthink interface. So there's like a little button and it will be say, okay, launch rescue remote support session. So that again, you're not switching, you're not having to do anything. And then that's going to automatically open up your rescue session for you. So you then have any of that DEX data that's available to you. So, you know, the device info, you know, quite often I've had IT support people in the past have to go into my device settings because they don't actually know the name of my device in order to, you know, do something internally or log something. So that is all available there. You know, you can look at your CPU, memory, what network they're on, like any apps that they're using. And you can also use any of like the AI tools that are available. You can run analytics there in the background, and it's going to give you guided step-by-step resolution. So what will happen is you can automatically click and it'll give you that L1 checklist. So it'll tell you, if the CPU is at like 96% and, possible kind of fixes and reasons for that. And you're not having to switch back and forth and back and forth. So what you see in Nexthink is going to be directly available within your rescue platform. And you can just run through that checklist and go, yep, yep, yep. I need a recommendation for this. I'm not sure what to do. I might need to run some sort of like analysis here. I can do that. And then again, if that came through from a ticket as well, or you need to send that back to a ticketing system, you can also do that as well. So all those details are there. Any information like that device health, that's going to update in Nexthink. And then Nexthink is going to confirm that like the device health has been restored. You don't have to go and check and make sure that everything, has updated. You know that they're going to give it a score, they're going to update it, and it's going to be, again, that full audit trail is going to be there for your admins.
I think the great thing about this integration is, like you mentioned, Dex is raising the alert. So think about how much more time is being saved and how proactive this is, because a lot of times Dex will flag an issue before your user or your employee even knows there's an issue. So you're even further ahead of that curve to begin with. Then once you get in the session, having Dex data supplement what's already available in Rescue, and having our AI there to, again, now we've added even more data, but the AI can parse all of that very quickly, give guidance. The L1 agent can run through their checklist with the AI guidance on top of that, and they've generated the summary. And again, compounded time saving and efficiency is just greatly improved with this type of integration.
Yeah, I think, they're saying people with, organizations with a DEX solution, the aim is that can capture up to 60% of issues kind of before they become an issue. Like, your remote support tool, like that's kind of like your last line of defense. Like that's when, things haven't been picked up, or, maybe I've broken something. But yeah, I think having these tools and then integrating, like we are there when things have kind of got through the cracks and stuff like that. So I think, yes, we're getting more tickets and, the volume's increasing, but can you imagine what it could be if we didn't have these other solutions that are constantly like monitoring our endpoints as well? So just to kind of give you what Nexthink brings to Rescue. So you've got that real-time device health, you've got your in-session telemetry, you've got those proactive issue detection. You're going to get to the root cause quicker. So you've got that root cause acceleration. Recurring issue visibility. So if something, it's going to identify patterns across your device fleet as well. So if something's happening consistently, your platform is going to flag that. DEX scoring and sentiment, so you're going to understand how endpoint performance impacts your employees. So I know we spent a lot of time talking about like agent burnout and, stuff like that, but the employee at the other end of that ticket, like I said, we think our issue is the most important thing in the world. So if you can do something before that becomes an issue, we're going to be super grateful on my end. And then you've got like the outcomes of the integration. So if you bring Nexthink with Rescue, you've got that improved first contact resolution. You're reducing those escalations. Again, consistency in your diagnostics, increased efficiency for the technician, eased frustration, and then proactive IT operations. We constantly hear that remote support is, a reactive tool. And it is like we react to problems. But if we're integrating with solutions that are proactively monitoring everything, that is going to ease the friction and the frustration that our technicians are feeling as they get squeezed for more and more and more as ticket volumes increase. So we want to quickly show you a Nexthink demo, and then we have a couple more slides, but I'm conscious that we should leave some time for Q&A, but I will queue up the demo.
Today we'll show you how the Rescue and Nexthink integration helps support teams resolve endpoint issues faster without switching tools, by combining real-time telemetry with secure remote support in a single workflow. No swivel chair troubleshooting, no wasted time, just faster resolution. Let's start where many issues begin, inside Nexthink. Here, we're looking at a device experiencing performance degradation. Instead of reviewing telemetry and then jumping to a separate remote support tool, we can act immediately. From the device view, we select Remote Actions and launch a pre-configured rescue pin ad hoc session. Behind the scenes, this securely initiates a rescue session directly from Nexthink. If you're using ServiceNow, this step can be automated even further, generating and passing the session details without manual input. We simply paste in the rescue pin and execute the action. Within seconds, the end user receives the rescue prompt, and the technician console shows the session connecting. Now the session is live inside the rescue technician console. From here, I have full remote support capabilities, remote desktop control, file transfer, system tools, and elevated access. But this is where the integration really becomes powerful. Traditionally, you'd now toggle back to Nexthink to review device telemetry, performance metrics, or diagnostic queries. Instead, everything you need is embedded directly inside Rescue. Inside the Technician console, you'll see a Nexthink tab. With the user's consent, you can instantly retrieve live device telemetry from Nexthink without switching screens. Here we see device properties, system health indicators, performance metrics, running services, and disk and memory utilization. In addition, we've configured troubleshooting checklists, like this L1 support checklist, pulled directly from Nexthink queries. These checklists surface pre-built diagnostics such as CPU or memory saturation, crashed applications, disk space issues, network health, and Windows errors. Support teams can create custom queries in Nexthink and make them available here in Rescue. This gives technicians guided, data-backed troubleshooting inside the same tool where they're fixing the issue. No guessing, no context switching, just actionable insights. What does this mean for your support organization? Faster mean time to resolution, fewer escalations, reduced tool switching, better first call resolution, and improved employee experience. Technicians move from reactive troubleshooting to data-driven remediation, all in a continuous workflow. For the end user, it feels seamless. For the technician, it feels efficient. For IT leadership, it means measurable productivity gains. The Rescue and Nexthink integration brings together proactive monitoring and hands-on remediation, turning insights into immediate action. If you'd like to see how this fits into your environment, reach out to your LogMeIn representative or customer success manager. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that integration. I got very excited when we first launched that. Okay, so yeah, that's Nexthink in a nutshell. And we are making constant improvements to that. So it is on the 2026 roadmap to kind of increase our kind of deep integration there with Nexthink. But before we kind of open it up to Q&A, just wanted to kind of give you a quick glimpse into the entire like rescue ecosystem in terms of integration. So I don't know, Chris, this is probably your wheelhouse, so I'll let you kind of, highlight a couple of winners for you.
Yeah, I mean, we've got so many out-of-the-box integrations. Also, we got an integrations API, by the way, if you want to build something yourself. But obviously, we've already talked about ServiceNow, some other standouts that have, similar or identical functionality. Obviously, we've got a lot of Salesforce users out there. So again, starting the session from within Salesforce, generating the pin, getting that ticket data into Rescue, and then posting the summary back. Just want to call out that if you have the AI add-on, that AI session summary will send back to any one of these integrations. So we're not limited in that data exchange now. It's really all of our out-of-the-box integrations. And then we got things like the Teams integration, which isn't obviously a ticketing system, but it's about experience and efficiency to keep the user where they're familiar in chatting. So if you use Teams internally, why send them somewhere else to start that rescue session? You can do it a click of a button or a slash command in the Teams integration, get the pin code over to them, get them to download the applet, and reducing the fatigue for the user, and again improving the experience because they're not using a tool they're unfamiliar with. And then just briefly touch on one of our other newer ones, the Jira service management integration. Again, functions the same as the others, starting the session within Jira and posting that ticket data back at the end as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and I think we're constantly kind of looking for new ways and new systems to integrate with. And like Chris said, these are just the out of the box ones. Like if there's another system that you want to integrate with, like there's the API. So essentially, like you can kind of integrate with whatever systems you're utilizing within your workflows.
Yeah.
So
And if just real quick for this poll,
yeah,
if there's a system that you do want us to integrate with, feel free to drop it in the questions panel or chat because we'd love to get that kind of feedback as well.
yeah, good call out. So just based on today, we're just looking to kind of get a little bit of feedback. Like, are you kind of looking to increase your integrations? Maybe you were looking to increase them anyway, and you were a little bit curious. Yeah, be interested to. Okay, yes, definitely. That's good.
Love that.
Okay, I think
We did something right, Kerry, because we got a lot of yes, definitely coming in. I love that.
awesome. I love
We're
that.
done here. We can wrap it up.
Almost. Okay, thank you very much. And okay, yeah, I won't spend too much time on this, but we just kind of wanted to quickly cover, you know, the with the AI capabilities in Rescue, if you had the AI add-on, this really, really kind of increases like the power that you can bring into your workflows. Like we touched quite a lot on what Rescue AI can do in order to kind of like boost some of these integrations. So I won't go into too much detail, but we're constantly looking forward and investing in terms of what we're doing with AI in Rescue, and we really want that to be, to become more. We're really moving to that agentic kind of like AI foundation. And I know we probably hear the term agentic AI all the time, but we're really putting a lot of resources and funding behind the AI capabilities across our LogMeIn portfolio. So if anyone does have any questions or anything on Rescue AI, you can let us know. So if you'd like to talk to a member of the team about any of the integrations or features that we've mentioned, just let us know in the poll and we will have somebody reach out.
Yeah, while we're waiting for those answers to come in, I just wanted to, remind everyone that while AI is powerful, we're investing in it to, help you gain efficiency and leverage that power. Just want to make everyone or remind everyone that we are doing it in a very safe and secure way. We're doing it in a way that always leaves a human in the loop. And our goal is not to replace anyone. Our goal is not to kind of have AI take over. It's just to supplement to your technicians and the efficiency and experience you can get from that.
Yeah. So I might leave that poll open, and then maybe while people are just there in the poll, we could cover some of the questions that we got in, because I know we're probably a little bit over the time. Oh, here's a good one. How are we handling personal data back and forth between your ITSM and Rescue? So that PII data, so that personal identification data.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So let's tackle that from two angles. First, session initiation, where you can, this is optional, you can inject the ticket description, the ticket contact name, and the ticket contact email. So we're using the Rescue API to send that, retrieve that from, let's say, ServiceNow, send it over to Rescue. That data is fully encrypted in transit between the two systems. And again, it's optional. So if you don't want to capture that email in Rescue, and then from the other side, from the session summary and kind of the postback of the session notes. So we do have several very robust system prompts in place that are designed to prevent PII or personal data leakage into that session summary. So you should not see, emails, names, things like that appearing in that session summary. So you don't have to worry that any of that information is going to leak into your ticketing system either.
Awesome. Thank you. Also, this is a lovely note from Enrique, and I just wanted to go. I love the interface. You've achieved significant improvement, better customer service, better tracking of what's been done. By incorporating AI solutions, will be better served every day.
Yeah, absolutely love that. And yeah, I appreciate that comment. Yeah, we've invested a lot into our new web console interface. If you haven't taken it for a test drive yet, I highly encourage it. And yeah, the AI goodies that you've added in there as well. So thank you very much for the feedback.
So, we have a question here from Aoife. So what are the limitations or inaccuracies of kind of like the AI model?
So obviously, we have multiple system prompts designed to do different things. We have system prompts that strictly tell our AI models not to, infer or guess, or basically if it's not sure of an answer, it will not give you an answer, first and foremost. Second, we do have the capability now to connect our model to your knowledge base. So for example, ServiceNow, if you've got, a knowledge base built up, when it gives you a recommendation in session, it can actually pull from that data. So you can be safe in the knowledge that your relevant data is being fed into the recommendations given. And outside of that, if you don't have a knowledge base connected, it's more of a general type of feedback. Again, it's not guessing, it's not inferring, it's not kind of playing loose, with what it gives the technicians. We understand the risk, the urgency that might happen in a session or is necessary in a session. So we wanted to ensure that the recommendations were kind of bulletproof in that regard. And again, if you haven't taken it for a test drive, I do encourage you to do so, because you'll see firsthand just how impactful and helpful those recommendations can be.
Awesome. I know we're kind of almost at time. If anyone does have any kind of follow-up questions and stuff, do submit those in your exit survey and we'll make sure we get back to them. One question that I do think is important to cover is there an additional cost to our integrations?
Love that question. The answer is always no. So no additional cost to use any of the integrations we've talked about today. Out of the box, no cost to use our API. If you want to build something yourself, there's no cost for any of that. Obviously AI, that's a different story. I just want to clarify that difference. Our AI features are a paid add-on. You do not have to use the AI features to get the benefits of the integration, but if you do want like the automated session summaries, recommendations, etc., there's obviously a cost associated with AI that we need to recoup.
Yeah. And then I think last one, because I mean, I think this is an important question. I know we talk about everyone's busy and everyone's got all this pressure. So, setting up an integration, a lot of people are probably here thinking, oh my God, that's one more thing I need to do to find time to do. So, how easy and simple are a lot of these integrations to set up?
I mean, I'm going to be frank that you could probably set these up in less than 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, probably less if
Yeah,
I'm honest, because I'm going to use ServiceNow as a real quick example. I know we're over time. Download the integration from the ServiceNow store, generate a token, link your accounts, go into Rescue, paste in a URL that instructs Rescue where to post your ticketing data, and that's it. That's it.
yeah,
From then on, the pin button will be visible on whichever record you've selected in the configuration, and you're up and running.
yeah. And for existing customers, there are kind of full details there on the support site on how to set those up. We do also have an integrations section within the LogMeIn website, so on logmein.com. Every single integration that we have for both Rescue and Resolve, there is instructions and links there on where you need to go in order, to reach the ServiceNow store, for instance. So you always make sure that you're going to the right place. You're not like going to some site that's pretending to be ServiceNow. So if you do want to do it that way, that is possible too. But yeah, I know we're a few minutes over, but I had a good time.
Yeah.
I appreciate that there was some nice comments and thank you there. And we love doing these, and it's always nice when we we get good feedback, because we enjoy doing these, but we also want to make sure that you guys are getting benefit and stuff out of those. So like I said at the beginning of the session, any feedback, good, bad, ugly, are there any topics that you want us to cover in future sessions? Put that into the survey, and we read everyone, and then that'll influence our webinar calendar moving forward. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday and very much your weekend, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Gary. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.